Surprise, surprise. Hey, you guys. It's us. It's us. It's Oreo Junior Junior. No, wait. Let's start over. Okay. Scott, pretend like we didn't even, y'all pretend like this didn't even happen.
Okay.
Surprise, surprise. Hey, you guys. Hey, you guys. How are you guys doing? We're back. It's been like 20 minutes, give or take, plus or minus in the margin of error. Okay, so we're back. And as always, it's you guys. It's Oreo Junior Jr. He's still decking it, styling it, profiling it in his Santa costume. We have Scott. Scott's back. We allow Scott to be back. Little Cat's leaving. He was under the umbrella. If I put the umbrella up, he needs to be there. I don't know why. And then of course it's me. Okay, and y'all are seeing. Let me tell you. Okay, I brought this makeup. It's like this costume makeup because I love cosplaying. So I brought this costume makeup from this place called Sunset Makeup. It's like cosplay makeup. Tell me what y'all think. This is orange. I'll give y'all the colors. I wanted to match my little, y'all see my cloak dress thingy. I wanted to match it. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so anyway, we're gonna put Oreo Junior there, and we're going to continue on with our book, Road to Nowhere. So I forgot to say that we have Poppycorn and Freedom Jack and Teresa and Renee and John and Candy and Bill and Clyde. We got a football team here, y'all.
Wow.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Okay, so let's get going with, I guess, what are we on? Freedom Jack jumped in and hijacked the story. You know, I think that man got ADHD like me. So he didn't jump in and hijack the story because remember, Poppycorn was telling the story about Candy. And then Freedom Jack jumped in like, no, you gonna mess it up. And, you know, now he wants his turn. Lord Jesus, only knows. So we're back to a hard knock life. Lord Jesus. Are you ready for a hard knock life, Scott?
I'm ready.
Because this man is having a really hard knock life. Instead of kisses, he's getting kicked. Okay. John was now a heroin addict. It didn't even we didn't even get into it. I mean, I'm not surprised. Are you surprised?
Not surprised.
Okay. Well, John, honey, we tried to warn you, but like I said before, he supported his habit by robbing soda and candy machines and phone booths. Oh my word. This takes me back. Remember telephone booths? Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah.
I can remember when a payphone was 10 cents.
Yeah. I remember 25.
Yeah, I remember when they changed it.
To 35?
No, when they changed it from 10 cents to 25 cents.
Oh, I remember the 35 cent, then we went 50. Then it just like cell phones kind of.
I didn't know it went over 25 cents.
Yeah, it went to 50. And then cell phones was like, no, give me that business. Okay, sorry, reminisce, you know? And if y'all are too young to remember it, look it up. It was a time. It was a time.
I remember having a pager and having to find
A payphone.
Payphone.
Yeah. My mother always paged 911, so I was like, if you do it all the time, how do I know if it's an emergency or not? Like, if everything is an emergency, then what constitutes an emergency? The world will never know. His addiction defined him. The drugs was the center of his life, and he spent most of his time trying to figure out how to continue to supply himself. I feel like that's most drug addicts. He's within the margin of error here. To make more of what he did get a hold of, he began to mainline. Oh, I feel like, let's see here. He injected the boiled drugs directly into his veins. It made the high more powerful, yet at the same time, he needed more of the drug to attain the same high. Lord Jesus. Like every other junkie, he took one step forward and two steps back. Okay, John. Why did Freedom Jack want to go here with this? Like, sir, why did you want to do all this? Why you interrupt her to tell people this? I mean, I'm not saying that it's bad to talk about it, but
I don't know. We'll find out.
the pain in his hand only left him when he was high. He could not stay high 24 hours a day, so he went through a lot of bad times. The surgeons had done a poor job grafting the skin around his wound. Oh boy. He was prone to infections in his right hand and was constantly having to buy antibiotics as well as heroin. Okay. What a combo. His habit was now costing him $500 a day. And this is in the 90s. That's a lot of money. $500 now. Okay. I mean, it's a lot now, but it was a lot back then. So what are you doing? You are high 24 hours a day. If that's what you're doing,
One way to make that money.
how do you make it?
Just gotta give up the booty.
Or I guess what he's doing now, payphone in it. Scott, you trying to condemn this man to the streets. Scott, you trying to condemn this man to the streets.
Gotta feed the habit.
Oh my word. Scott ain't no help. Don't ask Scott if you got a bad habit. He's not no help. I'm trying to avoid reading this because, sir, why did we go to this? Like, what is going on here? Do you know how many quarters that is? 2,000. Why do you know that? Okay. Is that 2,000 quarters on for real? Is this right?
Yeah, you got times it by 4.
Oh my. There's a lot of machines to rob just to stay. That's a lot of machines to rob just to stay even. It was hopeless. Really. He had to go to bigger game. You gonna do what Scott said? Because that's crazy. Scott didn't read this book. John started to break into homes in middle class neighborhoods. He got to be something of an expert when it came to casing out homes. He never broke into homes when he thought people were there. Of course, he miscalculated a few times and nearly got his brains blown out. Oh boy. He wouldn't carry a gun. He didn't want to hurt anybody and never really had it to, except for the time he punched Sims in the mouth. His hand worked against him as a thief. Too many tasks that went with the territory, like picking locks and silently lifting stuck windows, required two good hands. Oh my. We are going. Let me tell you, if y'all want to know what a life of crime is, I guess this is our journey into it without actually tapping into it. Okay. If you want to know what I guess addiction is, like, I guess this is our way of tapping into it without like physically tapping into it. So let's live through the eyes of Christopher Pike, aka John. That's how I'm going to frame it. That's what makes me feel better. Okay, sorry. I just had to get everybody there. Scott, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When he did get inside, he was able to only steal small stuff: jewelry, watches, cash. Occasionally, he'll swipe a stereo or VCR. But he had to resell the stuff for pennies because he could only do business with the blackest part of the black market. His main drug supplier, an addict himself, suggested he do a little dealing on the side to help make ends meet. Being a pusher wasn't John's style. Besides, it was dangerous. This ain't dangerous? Like, this whole lifestyle ain't dangerous? Didn't he say he almost got his head blown off? Is that not dangerous? I don't know how we're weighing this. Like, I feel like our scales are different. John and I have two different scales going on here. Like, I'm like, I feel like almost getting your brains blown out is dangerous, but he's over here like, nah, it's more dangerous to be out here hustling. Is this not all dangerous?
It is.
To include the drugs? I mean, okay, well, everybody has different scales of these things. I'm just saying mine is saying, oh girl, all of it's dangerous. Okay. He only tried it for a couple of weeks when he was robbed in the middle of the night by a guy with a switchblade. John lost his entire supply of drugs and 2 pints of blood. Okay, maybe all okay, it's all dangerous. All of this is okay, sir. His assailant laid John's belly wide open. Okay, girl, we real down there. He had to rush to the hospital holding his guts in. It took 40 stitches to sew him back together. John was pretty hardened to the horrors of life by this time, but this incident scared him badly. Yeah, he went straight to stealing, a safe occupation. That's a safe occupation. Girl, everybody's scales is different. Everybody's scales for danger is different. Man, life sucked. It really did. John was back in the hospital not long after that. He had caught another type of infection, hepatitis A. Oh, honey. Dirty needles, no doubt to blame. He didn't want to go to the hospital, but the doctor he saw told him he'd unalive if he didn't. And the way John felt, he figured the man was probably right. He had never been so sick in his life. Sir, we need to be in rehab, but okay. He couldn't walk across the room without having to rest and stop. He had a problem with the hospital, though, once he was inside. They wouldn't give him any, oh God, I'm going to just start calling it H because I'm tired of saying it. Any H, of course. But then they wouldn't give him any methadone to help him with withdrawals. His doctor explained that he was going to be in a special program to get methadone and that it was an outpatient program only. You couldn't be in the hospital and join. John took the news hard. He was sick from hepatitis and withdrawals. To top it off, his old friend, Mr. Three Finger Hand, was complaining. He couldn't take the pain. He just couldn't. It wasn't his fault. Pain could make a proud man humble. Pain could make a good man turn bad. Oh boy. I feel like John about to do something real dumb. One evening, John had been in the hospital a couple of days. He got out of bed around 9 o'clock wearing only a bathrobe and went searching for a nurse's station that had been left unattended. He didn't wait until later because he knew the nurses changed shifts at 9. And he hoped to take advantage of the change in shifts. The hospital was full of places to stash drugs. John didn't want much, just a little something to knock him out so he could sleep. That wasn't asking too much, but the nurses in his ward wouldn't give him anything stronger than Tylenol. What was Tylenol to an H addict? It was like giving cookies to a hungry tiger. John didn't find any drugs. Thank God. He had only searched a couple of floors when he spotted a nurse at the far end of the hall. She had her back to him and was waiting for the elevator. She appeared to be going off duty. Even from behind, she looked familiar to John. Who you think it is, Scott? Who y'all think it is? A nurse.
Must be
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Candy, was that her name?
Mm-hmm. Yep, it's Candy Probably. Hey, girl. He took a few steps closer, hanging onto a laundry basket to keep from falling over. He really shouldn't have been out of bed. The elevator door opened, and a guy with about 25. Oh, let me get it together. About 25 years old, accompanied by a kid who was maybe 5, stepped into the hall. The nurse shouted with pleasure. The two obviously surprised her by coming to pick her up at work. The little boy ran into the nurse's arms, shouting, "Mommy!" And the guy hugged the woman, and the two of them had a long kiss. Uh-oh. Oh, 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 oh. Oh, 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 oh. He should have answered the phone when she was calling him, though. She needed some help with her homework. John saw the nurse's face when she let go of the guy. He recognized her in an instant. It was Candy. He almost unalived right then. I mean, he was already close to unaliving. And in the space of 2 seconds, he took a huge step closer. Sir, Get back. Get back. His heart broke. Candy, his girl, in the arms of some jerk. And with a kid, John couldn't stop staring at the boy. He looked like his kid. Sir, no. He really did. Certainly, he didn't look like he belonged to the gorilla hugging Candy. The feeling that his family had been stolen from him without his knowing it overwhelmed John. Sir, go lay back down. You just need to go lay back down. Because what you gonna offer her, sir? What you gonna offer her? The other man going to school to go be a teacher. You over there looking through the nurse's station for some damn drugs. What are you gonna offer her, sir? Go lay back down and go think about it. At least lay down. Sorry. This man needs somebody to yell at him because he doing too much. Like, sir, what are you doing? What are you doing? He sagged against the wall. It was a miracle he didn't collapse on the floor. Then Candy turned and stared straight at him, but she didn't see him. Oh, she saw a patient, a very sick young man, but she didn't see John. He could have been invisible as he had been the last few years. Nevertheless, she raised her hand to her face and took a step in his direction. She was maybe 100 feet away. Did you need help, sir? She asked. A tear ran down John's face. He shook his head. Go back to bed, Candy called. You'll feel better soon. John nodded. Candy turned and disappeared into the elevator with her family. He thought they looked happy together. John walked back to his room and changed into his clothes that he had been wearing when he entered the hospital. He left without checkout. The night sky was filled with clouds. His car was parked in the lot, an old piece of junk that wasn't worth the cost of the registration sticker on the license plate. Okay, so I mean, if you on drugs, I guess you got to get what you got. You can go forward. It was all he had left in the world. He didn't even have his memories anymore, because the only ones he had cherished had been from his time in high school with Candy. And now she had stolen them from him. How'd she do that? Scott, how'd she do that?
I guess by being with this other guy.
But are they together? I don't get it.
No, I don't know.
Put in the comment section what y'all think. How did she steal the memories away? Did she got one of them little things from Men in Black?
Maybe.
Like, shut up, John. Get back in bed. Get back in bed. I should be able to do that to my cats. He blamed her for not wanting him. It sounds crazy. Yes, it does. But in his heart, he always believed he'd find her again and they would be back together. Sir, you are a drug addict. Find her what? Find her and do what? You missing 2 fingers. Find her and do what? Scott, what did you think he was going to find her and do?
I don't know.
Just as soon as he got his life back on track. He had told himself. But now there was no possibility of that. His life was over. He's so dramatic. He felt it. And when he felt it when he saw her beautiful face at the end of the hall. Yeah, she was still as beautiful after all these years. And here he was, a corpse, just waiting to start rotting. And you supposed to be going to get her back, sir? John needed a fix in the worst way. He drove to his most trusted friend, his pusher. The bastard wouldn't give him any H. He wanted money, and John didn't have any. John pleaded with him, but it was like pleading with the devil to please lower the thermostat. Yet, the guy did do something John wouldn't have expected. He ran in the back and got an unmarked handgun, oh boy, and gave it to him, oh boy. John just stared at the gun. He had never used one before, and tonight was not a good night to start. His left hand was shaking along with his right because he was so weak. Pull a job, bring me some cash, his friend said. That is not your friend, sir. Okay. Then I'll see what I can do for you. John nodded. He left the place. He still didn't want to hurt anybody, but everybody was hurting him. Who is hurting you, sir? This is all here. It's all up in here. It's all up here. All he wanted was just one fix, just one shot straight in his veins, and he knew he'd be able to think clearly again. He imagined that if he could just get one fix, he might check himself back into the hospital. Maybe then Candy would drop down a couple of floors and nurse him back to health. That's not happening. He laughed at the absurdity of the idea as he drove through the stormy night, the rain plastering his windshield, his tears plastering his face. He knew he wasn't going back to the hospital. He knew he was going nowhere. He drove for a long time before he spotted a store that looked deserted enough to hit. But he hadn't gone far before he drove mainly in circles. He parked in front of the mini mart and climbed out into the night. Oh, here we go. He was wet. He was cold. He staggered towards the door. He didn't see anyone inside except for the short fellow behind the counter. He figured he'll whip out his gun, get the money, and be gone in the blink of an eye. He was thinking about how good the fix would feel bubbling in his veins when he opened the door and stepped inside. He had the gun hidden in his belt under his coat. He was so out of it, he didn't check to see if it was loaded. I mean, if you don't intend to do nothing, but I guess maybe you should know that. That's what they teach you in school. So I think you should know that before you just go waving it around. So maybe that would have been a good idea to know.
What school is this they teach us in?
Military.
Okay.
Want to check for them bullets, baby.
It's good to know.
I mean, you just never know, honey. You never know. What Andre 3000 say, don't pull that thing out unless you ready to bang. They say make sure that thing ready to bang with some bullets. He didn't stride straight up to the counter and get down to the robbing business, however. He wasn't sure why. It might have been because he was so inexperienced. After he was inside the store, he thought it would be a good idea to first browse around. In the 90s, they had cameras, so do you really think that was the best idea, sir? Like, because they still had cameras back then. Not as good as today's, but they had cameras. Maybe pick up a few items and then saunter up to the counter. Then, when the guy was finished ringing up the stuff, he could whip out his gun. Yeah, he thought, that sounded like a plan. Even an unaliving man needed a plan. The guy in the store followed his every move. He picked out items that he usually wanted: a 6-pack of beer, a box of donuts, a carton of milk. He didn't know if he would be able to keep any of the food down. He had been vomiting nonstop for the last week. But he brought the stuff, or he thought the stuff would be better than what they had been trying to feed him in the hospital.
Sounds familiar.
That's why I took it real slow. Nice and slow. Nice and slow.
Okay.
Yeah. He walked up to the counter and piled the goods up. The employee looked him over real close and asked to see his ID. That made John laugh. I look like I'm ready to bury. And you want to see if I'm legal? John asked. Sure, I'll show you my ID. I got it right here. Uh-oh. He pulled out his gun and pointed it at the guy, who immediately raised his hands. Stick him up, Scott. Scott has his hands raised, for those who were wondering. Yeah, because he know what time it is. Don't pull the bang out unless you're ready to bang. Yet he didn't look that surprised. It was if he got held up regularly. Okay. He like, whatever, here, just take. I already got the bag ready here. Just take it. You look like you was about to do that. John told him to give him every dollar he had. The guy popped the cash register and began to stack the dollar bills on the counter. John thought he was doing pretty well for the first time when a young woman entered the store. Now, remember, yesterday, where we leave off, Candy decided, oh, let me go in here. There go John.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, that ain't Lil John. That's John, the H addict, honey. You don't want no parts in them, baby. You don't want no parts in this? I would have left and called the popos. The popos. John glanced over at her and almost dropped his gun. It was Candy. But it couldn't be Candy, he thought. Not twice in the same day. Man, talk about fate. It was a night of nightmares. Candy had her eyes open now. She ran towards him, calling his name. Girl. At the same time, the guy behind the counter crouched down, going almost out of sight, reaching for something that John would have bet the clothes he was standing in was a gun. John didn't want the guy to come back up shooting, so he fired a shot into the wall, the bottles in the wall behind the counter. Seagram 7 splattered everywhere, and the air was thick with the smell of whiskey. Isn't Seagram 7 gin?
No,
Oh.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't if I was you, John told the guy. Slowly, the man began to stand back up, his hands in the air once more. All this time, of course, John had Candy hurrying towards him, calling his name. Well, she had never had good timing, yeah, he thought. He took his gun, or he shook his gun in her direction and shouted, "Stay." Candy stopped. She stared at him with her big brown eyes. "John, it's me," she said. "I don't know any John," he said. She took a step towards him. She didn't have the decency to put her hands in the air, and here it was, his first holdup. "That's not going to work," she said. "I know who you are, and you know who I am." She grimaced. "What are you doing with that gun? You look terrible." "Girl, what do you mean, what is he doing with the gun? What does it look like he's doing with the gun? What, girl?" John, remember how you used to have to help her cheat on the test? Can you help her cheat on this test? Can you tell her what girl, this is a mess. He sneered. "I'm sorry, I didn't have the chance to get the gun color coordinated with my outfit. Get the hell out of here, Candy. Can't you see I'm busy?" She was ashen, an improvement, though, over John's color. His hepatitis had turned him the color of a sick lemon. She took another step towards him. Not many more, and she would be able to reach out and take the gun from him. "It was you I saw in the hospital this evening," she said. "It took you long enough to notice," he said. "That means you're sick," she said. "You should be in bed." She stopped and grimaced again. "What happened to your head, girl? Look." Girl, look, he got a lot of long stories. And I feel like what he's doing right now is not a long story type thing. So why don't you go outside and call the police? And then when he's in prison, girl, you could be pen pals. He ain't gonna have nothing but time to tell you that story. Because he going to prison. What say you, Scott?
Yeah, he said that way.
Or if you really want to get the expedited version of the story, put some money on his books and maybe he can make some collect calls to you or accept the collect call, I guess. But ma'am, what he's doing right now, ma'am, he needs concentration and you need 911. But that's me. What do y'all think? Comment section, did y'all want to put in a comment? Because that's my thoughts on this. But you know, when worlds collide. That question really annoyed John. Yeah. He hadn't seen her in God knows how long, and she had to immediately point out his most sensitive flaw. I'll tell you, that Candy had no class. I agree. "I got caught in a hot dog bun machine," he said bitterly with his voice cracking. "But I don't want to talk about it now. I want you to get out of here. I want you to go home to your husband and your son. And I want you to leave me alone. Girl, that is your opportunity to go call 911 and then y'all can become prison pen pals. Or again, expedited, accelerated version. Put some money or accept them collect costs. Accept them collect costs. I mean, safest plan for me.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Um, John fired another shot into whiskey bottles. The dark liquid and the glass flew everywhere. The man behind the counter had begun to fidget in a way John didn't appreciate. You finish counting out my money or I'll unalive you, he screamed. The guy got back to work emptying the cash register. Candy just stood where she was, staring at John. He was surprised when she started weeping. What happened to you? She cried. Why are you doing this, girl? Just saying. I feel like Candy could be doing something a lot. You know what? I'm starting to blame Candy now for why John is where he is. Because, girl, you don't make good decisions in the heat of the moment. This is not your strong suit, ma'am. I'm just saying. I don't know what y'all feel. You can put it in the comment section. Scott, do you feel anything? Is this her strong suit or am I reading this wrong?
Yeah, I mean, she's got some issues there.
I would have put the paper down the blouse and I would have been outside 911 in it, but being like, as they took John away in handcuffs, like, John, just call my number and just shout out the number or get one of the police. Like, could you give him my number? Or I don't know. Or look him up on Prison Pen Pals. That's where all the girls on Love After Lockup get their men from. I'm sure he'll be on there. Okay. If y'all are ever in this situation, send me a message, I guess, I don't know, on YouTube, and I'll help you navigate. But this, what she's doing, that's not the answer, Sway. That's not the answer. The guy got back to work emptying the cash register. Candy just stood where she was, staring at John. Oh, wait, I read this part. He never did get a chance to tell her why, because right then, all three of them heard police sirens. Thank God somebody did the right thing. They were close. It sounded as if the cops had been there in seconds. Then they were heading straight for the store. John didn't, that they were headed straight for the store. John didn't doubt for a second. He realized the guy behind the counter must have pressed the button that the instant John pulled the gun. No wonder the guy had been emptying the register so slow. He knew he had help coming. Damn it, John swore. He switched his gun to his bad hand and tried scooping the money off the counter with his left into his pocket. Sir, you still going? Oh, okay. I mean, and she can identify. Okay, I mean, hey, we're making decisions.
Yeah.
But he was in too much of a hurry, and most of it ended up on the floor. The sirens grew louder. They were practically outside the door. He wouldn't be able to get out the front way, he realized. He'd have to try to escape out the back. He turned away from Candy. He could see the rear exit at the end of the narrow, dark hallway. Don't run, John, Candy cried at his back. They'll unalive you. He was in no mood to listen to her. He might have been if he hadn't seen her that evening in the hospital with her family. He might have become a changed man right then. Sir, change for you? Just knowing she was around. But she had let him down again. She had cheated on him with another man. Is this where people go? Like, girl, I'm sorry, John. How did she cheat on you with another man again? While you've been a whole drug addict? How? She ain't seen you since high school. You ain't answered the door or the phone for her. So I mean, how did that work out? Help me get there. But he ran down the hallway towards the rear exit. It was locked. His luck was rotten. He pounded on the wire mesh door with his bad hand, and his pain and sorrow and fear in that moment were of truly tragic proportions. Sir, just give up and go with the police. Oh my God, you are being so dramatic. Just go to fucking prison, dude. Oh my God. He was a trapped and wounded animal. He glanced back the way he came. The other guy had guts. John had to hand it to him. Even with the police only seconds away, he was going for his gun, period. The guy behind the counter is bout it. Okay? If you don't know what that means, look it up. Shout out to Master P. He pointed his own in the guy's direction just above his head and let a shot loose. The bullet hit the front door of the store and the entire sheet of glass collapsed. The checker jumped and raised his hand over his girl. Stop grabbing the gun, sir. Just stand there. The police got their guns. Jesus. These people are all making really bad decisions. Like, sir, he is no longer a threat. The police are coming. He is trying to escape. He is retreating, sir. John ran back to the front of the store. He was passing the counter when two police officers pounced inside, their revolvers drawn. Freeze, they said in unison. John froze for only a second. Then he did something he wouldn't have believed he had done in a million years. Of course, that was just the point. He had only a split second to react. He grabbed Candy. See, this is why she should have been outside calling the police, thinking to herself, man, when he made that collect call, I'm going to pick it up so I can catch up. Or, we going to be pen pals and then we'll catch up that way. But no, now you part of the robbery, girl. You a hostage. Candy, you a hostage. Scott, she a hostage.
Yeah.
Y'all, she a hostage. All because you didn't put that paper down your shirt when you should have that first time. Look at how these decisions are paved in her path. Bad decisions. He grabbed Candy and placed her in front of him as a shield. She didn't make a sound. Hanging on by her hair, he raised his gun up to her head. Drop your guns. If you don't, I'll unalive her. The police glanced at each other. They were young, inexperienced. They had made a mistake, both coming into the store at the same time. John could see only one car outside. They had no backup. They were scared. They didn't want to drop their guns. They had no idea what he would do. He had no idea. He just wanted a moment to think, to take a shot of H, and to be at peace. Sir, the shot of H ain't happening. The moment you walked in that gas station and pulled that gun out, baby, the heroin, the H thing is over. I don't know how but whatever, you can live in the delusion till you can't no more. Sorry, I lost my place. Or maybe just a moment to talk to Candy. He had a gun to her head, true. But right then, he imagined a talk might be nice. It would have been better if it was like a collect call or in a letter. That she might be able to set his mind and body at peace. John, Candy said calmly, I have to tell you something. Her speaking surprised him. She should have been crying or screaming, but she said his name so normally, he couldn't help but respond. What? He asked. She didn't get a chance to answer him. One of the police had dropped his gun, but the other wasn't going to chance it. He wasn't going to risk his life, although he was all too happy to risk the life of an innocent bystander. He aimed his gun at John, who stood so slightly to the left of Candy. Naturally, though, being half a foot taller than Candy, John was exposed. The cop fired. I know. The bullet caught John in the side of his neck. It hit him with the force of a freight train. John let go of Candy and dropped to his knees. His blood gushed over his shirt. The cop fired again. The bullet caught John in the belly. It tore open a scar where he had been knifed. More blood poured out. That was all John could see for a moment. his life draining away from him onto the dirty floor of the mini mart. He didn't want it to end this way. Looking down into the dirt, he spent the last 5 years of his life crawling in the mud, and he wanted to go out with a vision of something beautiful. He looked up and saw Candy staring down at him. She smiled. He thought she smiled. Suddenly, everything started to go dark, but he still had his gun in his hand. He could feel it. Oddly enough, he had it in his right hand, and the fingers in the last second of his life, even the phantom fingers, suddenly stopped hurting. His whole hand felt whole again. It was the most wonderful feeling. He flexed his hand. Well, maybe, can I say that and have you believe it? Or should I just say he pointed his gun at Candy and fired? That would probably be closer to the truth because he did shoot her. Or it would be fair to say he wanted to, either because of what she had done to him or simply because he didn't want to unalive alone on the dirty floor. He shot Candy in the heart, and her smile faded as a big dark stain formed in the center of her shirt. He watched her fall towards the slowly. He didn't see her hit. He heard another shot, and it must have come from the cop because his own gun had fallen from his hands. He saw a flash of red. He heard an eerie splat sound. As he fell backwards, he figured it must have been the sound of his brains hitting the wall behind him. He unalived. They both did. But doesn't everybody? Free pause. And that's the story of John and Candy. God, Teresa whispered, shocked by the sudden violent ending. Would you say I described everything accurately, my dear? He asked Poppy. Just beautifully, Jack, Poppy said. And they all lived happily ever after. I'm kidding. That ends chapter 11.
All right. Wow.
I know it's real tragic, but we still got a couple of more chapters. So hang in there. Hang in there. This doesn't end this way. Okay, so you guys, what did you learn, if anything, besides violence, besides violence? What did you learn? Put it in the comment section. Scott, did you learn anything?
Well, crime doesn't pay.
No, it ends horribly. It ends tragically. You may even take the thing you love with you. John took Candy down. The lesson I learned is you know what? I don't even have a lesson. I don't even know what the lesson is because that's crazy. Like I'm shooketh.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what the lesson is from that. Don't do drugs, I guess. Don't do them at all. Oh my God.
That doesn't work out.
No. And also, no, I did learn something. Figure out what you're going to do in the case of emergencies and stick with it. Because Candy should have put that thing down her shirt and kept it moving. You're going to have to think on your feet sometimes. So you don't end up on a dirty floor bleeding out.
Sure, she didn't foresee that.
You don't know. I don't know. We don't know. That's what I know. Okay. I'm shooketh. I'm gonna have to sage or something today because that's heavy. That was heavy. That was a heavy part, especially after Bible school. We should have started with that and ended with the Bible. Now we know next time. Anyway, so that concludes this chapter. I may have to take some time off because that was a lot. And I feel like I need to let y'all kind of breathe after that. We need to just kind of detox because that was toxic. So we're going to conclude. Thank you guys for coming. I hope I did not shake you guys too much. I hope you enjoyed. We definitely enjoyed having you guys. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff if you like. So with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. So from wherever we are to wherever you guys are, peace, love, happiness, shake all that foolishness off. Okay. Take a deep breath, shake it off. We'll be back. We got to finish this book. I think we like 2 or 3 more chapters left, and then we got to figure out. I know it's almost over, and then we got to get to the next. So with that, we're going to bid you guys adieu. Skinnamarink-a-dink-a-dink.